Evening, and welcome back to my channel, 7 CPS Certified Peer Specialist at Divas Over 50. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, and share. So let's begin. This is the last stage in the 5 stage recovery process, and it is called Action to Change. Okay, so this is the picture for Action to Change recovery stage, which is the 5th stage. Okay, look at the picture. We're going to talk about that before we end the slide. Okay, so at this stage, the 5th stage of the 5 stage recovery process, the person is moving beyond the disabling power of the illness or the disabling power of the health disorder, as we call them. So at this point, the 5th stage, they've gone through the 4. They are on board with recovery. Okay, they now believe in it, they now understand it, and they are putting into practice what they have learned. Okay, they're moving beyond action. Okay, at this stage, okay, we looked at the picture of the stage, we know the name. Okay, now we're going to tell you how the person is feeling at this stage. The person has decided the direction they want their life to go and is willing to take more responsibility for their decisions and actions. So, what are we saying? Okay, here it is a question of responsibility. That's right. Action for change, question of responsibility. Will I be able to take on the necessary responsibilities? Okay. Internal, excuse me, the person senses that they will have to take on more responsibilities, not sure they can. Externally, they don't believe the person knows what is best for them, will need the system to take care of them. So, what is my role? What is the peer support role? Okay, then we're going to get to the danger. The role of the services is to help the person trust in their own decision making ability and take more and more responsibility for their lives. Okay? The question of responsibility. When I decide to make a major change in my life, how am I going to relate? Excuse me, to having to rely more and more on my own decision making ability and less on the system. So let's see what my training notes going into detail. Action for change is the time when a person decides to make a major change in their life. Oftentimes, this involves creating relationships and getting involved in activities outside of the behavioral health system. Okay. As they move more of their life outside of the behavioral health system, they have to take on more and more responsibility for their own decisions. That's right. Okay. So when we use this scenario of baby brother having taken in his elder brother Sam, who had a disability, baby brother took on a lot of that responsibility. And that's the point that we were showing at Commitment to Change. Now, okay, first baby brother was filling out the necessary paperwork every year needed for Sam, renewal, certification, renewal of their health benefits. I should have turned on the fan. It's okay. Renewal of certain cards and certain privileges that Sam can get. Um, Baby brother was doing that. And so now Sam is going to have to do it. And Sam is like, I did it before I was sick. I got sick, but that was 25 years ago. Okay. So now Sam is going to have to do those things. And so, what is the danger of that? The danger is that Sam will begin to doubt his own decision making abilities and his ability to function on his own. Then he may decide that he cannot function without the supports of the behavioral health system and revert back to a life lived within the confines of the behavioral health system. And so we're going to refine this more to the scenario I presented for Sam. People oftentimes begin to seriously question their ability to make major changes that involves creating relationships and getting involved in activities outside the behavioral health system. So in the case of Sam, he has been with baby brother. Baby brother has been acting in the place of the behavioral health system. So baby brother has been doing a lot of the things that the behavioral health system would do for someone who is in residential housing, like here in St. Louis, that's connected to the behavioral health department of this healthcare organization. Um, and so baby brother was doing it. Baby brother provided the home. Baby brother took care of the bills. Baby brother paid the whatever was needed, if it was a mortgage or if it was an apartment lease. Baby brother did out all of that. But in that scenario, with the five stage recovery process, I'm looking at TV, being applied at this stage, Sam's going to have to do it. So my role is to help Sam basically trust their own instincts. Okay. He's going to have to be the one to do it. And in this case, okay, I set this scenario up that baby brother is going to leave town. He's not going to take Sam, and who said Sam wanted to go? Okay. And so now baby brother was the institution. And so now Sam is going to have to take on responsibility. So let's back up and say that Sam hears from an apartment, subsidized housing. He get in. Now Sam is going to have to do the things that baby brother was doing. And sometimes that can go well. Okay, and I can create 1,000 scenarios how Sam can maintain himself. He can get a girlfriend. Maybe one of the people who was hanging out with him in the basement can can get with him, and then they can make a go of it. Trust me, a lot of those stories do exist out there with a lot of clients that I've run into, that I work with, but somewhere along the way, things fall apart. Symptoms, side effects, self-image, triggers. Okay, what if Sam taking meds, and I gave the scenario that he's probably drinking. Let's say he is. You're like, well, how can he do that? Well, Okay, it happens. Um, Maybe he wasn't taking his meds. But in any case, okay, Sam is in need of the recovery process because Sam world is going to change. Sam is now going to have to take on responsibilities. And of course, in the scenarios, you can say, well, maybe Sam is there, but okay, me reading the 5-stage recovery process over to each day. Anybody who's worked in the behavioral health field with addiction and mental health know that this story, that scenario, can go on for years and years and years with a person's life. So I know I covered so much of every section of each stage that I don't have to spend a lot of time on this, the last stage, the 5-stage recovery process, the 5th stage of the 5 stage, because I wanted to get through the stages and it's going to build as we go on. And if you can remember the techniques when I did that in the introduction slide, you're going to be able to take the 5-stage recovery process and move on down the list, okay, to the various playlists. And like I said, some will grow a little because they're more, I said by mood, but when we're talking about the recovery, or being moved, MOVED. um, but the ones like the recovery story, I will go back there. Let's say I run into a bunch of questions, or there are quite a few questions in my comments that may require me to tell a part of my life. That's when I'll go back into the recovery story. So that can grow little by little as I see a need. Because you don't just go back and tell the recovery story, like you're reminiscing, and many people who have attended um, groups, outside groups. Many of my clients complained about they did not enjoy sitting there and basically hearing someone's story all night. So it's not like that. But when going to the recovery story part playlist and making a video, it will be, I saw a question in a comment and I will say, let me tell this story about that question and what I did about that problem. So I wanted to clarify that it doesn't bother me to go back to my recovery story. And when I simply say I have to be moved, meaning you can tear up, passion. I didn't want to make it like it's painful to go to our recovery store, because it's not. It's really refreshing and cleansing. So that's that. I wanted to clarify that. I'm kind of going over like after or of each stage, picking up, cleaning up. But I don't have to. I don't have to. We're done. So that's the final stage, the 5th stage of the 5-stage recovery process. Now let's look at the picture. We're going to end at that. Okay. We went over all the pictures. We're not going to go back through that. But what comes to your mind? Because let me find my pictures right here, you guys. Someone move that over. And I can see the tab. You can, it's like, yeah. All right. Don't see it. What do you see? Okay. The final stage, action to change, moving beyond. Remember when I gave you the pictorial cue, or I went back to the candle, and I told you how the facilitator with each picture, before they would start the presentation or explaining the stage, they would say, look at the picture. What comes to your mind? Okay. And with the candle, what came to my mind was, okay, the candle will make everything in the darkness come into light, and I equated either addiction or mental health as darkness with the light. but it wound up being a squirrel. So here, moving beyond action to change. Okay, remember when I spoke of, and I don't know where that was, when I said positive thinking, and I was talking about the techniques, is where I land from all the other techniques prior, meaning the positive thinking helps me put them into motion. Okay, and so here you have moving beyond. And in thinking about positive thinking, getting you out of that darkness, out of that trap, out of that box. Okay. And so bringing it to this picture, moving beyond, you're out of that trap of having mental stress, mental trauma, mental imbalance, and not being able to find a remedy. Okay. You're getting out. What else is going on here? Moving beyond, going forward, action to change, taking responsibility. Okay. This person took the responsibility to open the door of life, of support, to support, take a risk, possibilities. What's out there that can help me? Because I know who I am now. I'm the same individual before the accident, before the assault, before the addiction. I'm the same person. Only I've found a way now to function. That's what this picture means. Light is coming into that place of life is limited. I'm stuck. You're no longer stuck. It's free. So that's it. I've enjoyed that. I mean, I really enjoyed telling you the 5 stages, what they're about, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Remembering the introduction slide and the page where we were talking about the techniques. We're gonna move on to the next level. Thank you so much. I wanted to get the 5 stages done, and we can move on tomorrow. So I want to say happy Easter, happy Passover. Who else? Anyone out there whom I did not say the appropriate greeting for your particular faith, attributed to my mind and not my heart. And for those who rather you partake of that remembrance or not, I say to you, um, happy, how can I put it? Happy transformation. Yeah, we're transforming into a new season. So thank you. God bless you. And please, everyone, be safe out there. Bye.